Upload the CV, paste the job description, and get a role-tailored CV in under 1 minute. Let me show you how I built this web application using Anything, Supabase, Loveable, and OpenAI. Hey, I'm Tommy, founder of 3 Balconies. We turn repetitive work into revenue using practical AI solutions and automations. And today I'll be walking you through how I built CVTailor end-to-end so that you can see what is possible with no or low code. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so CVTailor is a micro app that I built using a combination of Anything, Loveable, and OpenAI, as well as Supabase for its database. But we'll go into all of that technical side of things later. But the idea behind this app is to allow people to build their CV be more closely related to what their capabilities are. So, for example, most people's CV does not do justice to what they can do, what their achievements are, what they're capable of, and all of that get lost when they're interacting with recruiters. So one of the things that I wanted to do with this app is to allow especially professionals who are already on the job, who already have things that they have done that their CV does not adequately capture. The idea is for them to be able to have a system that puts all of that together in a simple CV that is tailored to a particular job that they're applying for, and that done within minutes. So in this case, CVTailor, like I said, you upload your CV first, then you paste a job link or job description, and then it returns an ATS friendly CV that is tailored to the job that you're applying for that the user can download. Plus, it also saves your information for subsequent requests. So let's just take a deep dive and just see how this works. The first thing you want to do is to get started. So if I click on get started, because I'm going to create a fresh new account, and I'm going to be using my Yahoo, which I've not used in a long time, and then see how that goes. I wanted to suggest passwords for me, which it did, and then I sign in. Oh sorry, it's saying failed, so I need to sign up, not sign in. So I'm going to say, and let's do that password thing again. Yes, so it's done that. Now it's sent me an email and it's asking me to verify. So I'm going to just log into a different device and try to verify the password. Because I don't think I have it opened here. Yes, so I have it. The email has come through, and then it's asking me to confirm my email. I'm confirming it now. Okay, so it's confirmed it. Let me now attempt. So now it's brought me in here. Now you can see it has my name. It's asking for my bio. I'll just say this is not compulsory, but let me just put a very nice bio. So we can get into this. Oh, it's asking for my last name. So let me just do. I've done that, and then yeah. So it's brought me in. Now the next thing it wants me to do is to upload my CV and an audio description. For this case, I already have it somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to upload my CV and click on start your first upload, and it brings you to this page. I need to choose my file, my CV document. I've done that. I'm doing that now. I'll just upload that. Let me see, where did I drop that document? Let's see. Okay, so here is my CV, and then let me upload the audio file. In fact, you can also record the audio file if you prefer that, but this time around I want to upload the file. So I'm going to choose upload. I already have one recorded here, and it is an M4A file, and I'm going to send it for processing. So you click on this. It's currently processing the files. While it's processing the files, the work will be going on at the back end of Anything. You can take a look at the time now. It's 10:07 a.m. at the moment. So we're going to check the executions later, but I wanted to see how long it takes here for it to finish uploading. So it's currently still processing file. You can see as soon as the file is processed, you would see what's happening. Now, while we're waiting for that to happen, you can see that here, as soon as I created the account, it gives me 1 credit. It gave me 1 credit. Now, that 1 credit is automatic for everybody who creates an account. They automatically get 1 credit. That 1 credit is enough to get you a tailored CV and an accompanying cover letter for 1 job posting. And after that, of course, you need to buy credits. But right now, I just wanted to draw your attention to the fact that you have a credit here that we can use when time comes. But for now, we are not using up credit uploading our CV and the audio description. So it said it's finished, it's processed successfully. Let's see what happens here. So it brought me here, and here you can see that it's completed the audio file and my CV. Now this is what it has done. So here it has given me AI role recommendations. This AI role recommendations is not a job in itself, it's just an example of the job that I am a good fit for based on my CV and a description that I have provided for the system. So it says that I'm a 95% fit for a VP of growth marketing role, and then it says head of demand generation, 92% fit, director of product marketing, CMO for startup or scale up, 87%, head of marketing operations, revenue ops, 84%, adjunct lecturer, 72%, director of investor relations, corporate communications. All of these are indication of the roles that I can apply for. It might come across as subjective, but it is informed based on the content of your original CV and the roles that and the audio description that you provided. Now, once you have done this, the next thing is to go ahead to CV tailoring. Right now, I don't have any CV because I have not applied for any role yet, but there's a place for me to copy and paste my CV. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into LinkedIn. I'm going to go into LinkedIn and see if I can copy and paste a job that is actually available. Let me see, just give me a moment. Alright then, so I have now copied a job that I found on my LinkedIn page or on LinkedIn role. I'm just going to paste it here. It's a lot. I just copied and pasted everything. You can see the role, VP of marketing, and I think that was mentioned in the role recommendation before, the name of the company, all of that. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to just click on generate cover letter. I mentioned to you that I have 1 credit remaining, and people who sign up get one free credit. So this free credit will just be enough to run what I need to run. The time is now 10:13 a.m. So I'll just click on that. Like I said, just taking note of the time so that when I'm showing you the executions inside Anytime, we can see the timestamp. So right now I've clicked on this. It's 10:13 a.m. and it's currently processing. It's processing all of the rows, and we'll see how this works in real time. It's taking some time because it's a lot of work to write CVs, but it's taking some time. We'll see how long it takes, and it's taking longer than usual. I don't know if you're aware, but GPT-5 is the brain that is powering this, and GPT-5 generally doesn't act as fast as the other models that I have used in my own experience. So I'm guessing that's one of the reasons that we're having this delays, but we'll wait for it and see what happens. Hopefully the system doesn't time out. Okay, so it says fail to start the CV tailoring process. I'm not sure why it said that. And I'm guessing maybe it timed out. So I will just go and check Anytime to see what happened. Alright then, so it turns out that there was an issue with OpenAI's, the model that I'm using, the brain that is powering this. For some reason, it's not anything from the workflow, but it's coming from the workflow being able to access the GPT-5. So I've changed the model from GPT-5 to GPT-5 mini, and then we're going to try this again. Okay, so that one, the other one failed. Let's just try it one more time. Thankfully we still have our credit. We're trying it one more time. They're sending out the request, and it's currently now running inside Anytime. So fingers crossed, hopefully this one works well. So it's now 16 seconds. Since it's mini, my expectation is that it should be faster, because it's not a heavy model. It's a miniature, or the mini version of the GPT-5. So let's see how that plays out. It's still showing processing here, which is good at all. Okay, so it worked. It succeeded this time. As you can see, we have a success message which just ran away. So this is what it is. So it's Director of Marketing, scale wise, August 29th to date, and it's showing completed. So let's click on the CV. As you can see it here, for some reason it did. So it tailored the CV. And you can see it here. It's identified my competences. It's a professional summary, experienced marketing leader with 10 years delivering revenue-driven growth for B2B software and technology businesses, including HR tech and marketing tech. Led multi-channel go-to-market, product marketing and demand generation programs that supported Series A rounds and scaled ARR. Skilled at managing marketing budget, building high performance teams. So these are exactly what I have done before. So it's not, like I said, it's not making things up. Because it is mini, it's not as robust. So that's one of my observation. The other version that I had used before was more robust. To be honest, they were more robust. So so in terms of key achievements, it spotted out my key achievements. Built and scaled time page online, engineering, brand marketing initiative, transform lead generation, led product and commercial, delivered repeatable stuff. It's currently about my role here, my current role, and then head of marketing, communications, and so many other things. So it's essentially covered it. And pardon me, this is what I was looking for. Okay, so this is the cover letter. So it kind of like covered it, and I welcome a chance to discuss how I can design and execute marketing strategy for you guys. So it just works. So this is what the system does. The cover letter can be downloaded as Word, because most of the time you are required to copy and paste your cover letter in a space provided, or you can send it as an email, as the body of your email, where you attach your CV. So that is why this is not coming in PDF, it's coming in Word, so that it is editable right off the bat. But like I said, for the CV itself, you can see it as PDF document and download it as so. But then if you wanted a Word document that you can play around with and correct, maybe put it in a different format, a different template, then you can download the content as Word and then copy and paste it as you would. So that's how this system works. And I'm still seeing my my credit, but let me reload. And yeah, I've reloaded, and I can see now that my credit is back to 0. So I've used up that credit. So yeah, that is how this system works. Now the next thing is for me to show you the back end and all the things that I did to get to this point. All right then, so I've shown you how the system works, but let me just tell you or take you through all of the things that I did to get here. Tools at a glance. Loveable handles the front end. Anything handles the automation and the brain, and then all the other things that the workflow itself was done on Anything. Supabase stores all of the information, data, output, request files, and then OpenAI helped me to rewrite stuff. I brainstormed using OpenAI, as well as it also being the brain behind the automation inside Anything. Those are the 4 main tools, actually the only tools that I used. So I used Loveable, Anytime, Supabase, and OpenAI. Now to go into deeper, step 1 to I brainstormed the overall user flow first of all, and look at what the idea is. What value is the product supposed to unlock for the user? How will they unlock this value? I was clear from the beginning that I will use Anything to build and prove the concept, because I've been building using Anything, so I needed to make sure that I can prove the concept using Anything. So I did that, and I used that to think through the architecture of the workflow using Anything because I'm familiar with it. So the next step after I was sure about the architecture was to prove that it was possible using Anything. And Anything, like I said, I've been building with Anything and I'm familiar with it, so I needed to prove that concept. So what I started doing was to decide first, am I going to break it down into small builds? Will there be modules, or is it just going to be one giant workflow? So in the end, I decided to go with breaking it down into several builds. And as you can see on the screen here, let me copy to editor. You would see that there are about 4 different workflows here. So there's a workflow that transcribes the audio. Remember the audio that the user sends in, this workflow transcribes it, and then the next workflow is the one, so it takes it using webhook, and it extracts the file, sends it into OpenAI transcription, and then it saves that into Supabase, into the database. Then also I also needed to, that role recommendation thing that you saw earlier, I wanted that to come as a value to the user to see what is possible, not just sometimes the role that people are doing that they could do is much bigger and much better than what they are currently doing, so helping them to see what is possible. So that role recommendation is what we have here. It starts also with a webhook, because webhook is what works, because we are sending data from the front end into this workflow, because this is not what the user says. The user says a well user-friendly interface. So that's why we needed webhook for this. So we started with a webhook here. Webhook pulls information from inside the database, that's Supabase, and then pulls that information and sends it into an AI agent using an OpenAI brain, and then once it releases the information, it's cleaned out and stored back into Anything. So if you see here, it says it creates a role first, and then it updates the role wherever it needs to update the role. And then finally, this is the part where the user tries to tailor their CV. At this point, there was an option for the user to send in a LinkedIn link, but I realized that the link only works with LinkedIn URL. If I was going to do link, I'll have to create several workflows for different types of link, because people build their websites in different ways so that the system can adequately pull the right information. So in this case, I later removed that functionality so that everybody uses just copy and paste the text of the job, and then this text is now run through this workflow. It also starts with a webhook, and also it extracts the job information. So the first agent extracts the job information and structures it, and sends that structured output back into Supabase and stores it. Then Supabase, this node gets the information again, sends it to a parser, and the parser stores it inside and sends it into another agent. This agent is what now creates the CV, the tailored CV based on that. And then afterwards, the tailored CV is sent back into Supabase, and then is saved in Supabase, and then it also now goes ahead to generate the cover letter. Cover letter is also saved in Supabase, and then sends the payload back into the webhook to let the user know that the information has now been provided. So that's how this workflow works. So I tested it first, seeing that it is possible without the webhook, using a chat trigger first to see that this concept works before I went into Loveable. Now, if I take you into Loveable here, you can see that there is a lot of information. Like, I have chatted with Loveable. I cannot tell you the number of lines of chat that I have in here, but it is a lot. From what I wanted to do, where I wanted to do it, all the information here shows you how much I have interacted with Loveable. This meant that I was going to spend money using up Loveable credits. Loveable credits is not as simple and straightforward as the credit that I used for this one. But then it did help, because what Loveable did for me is I gave Loveable access to my Supabase, so I didn't have to build the tables inside Supabase myself. So I gave Loveable access to my Supabase so that you can see at the corner here, I've connected my Supabase into Loveable so that Loveable can manage my Supabase for me, the Supabase project for me. So what I did was to create a project and then ask it to manage it. So it created the tables, created everything that I would need to get it done. So when I prompt it on something, I tell it what I want the front end to look like, what I want the back end to look like. I even ask it what it needs from me to connect anything to it so that it works together seamlessly and gives the value that is required. So I won't go into the details. It's going to take us so long if I was going to go into details of every single prompt that I used here, but I did use a lot of prompting. It is a lot. You can see how tiny the cursor is here. It's a lot of conversation that was going on between me and Loveable, and once Loveable had access to it, we were able to create what the front end looked like. I can give it feedback on how I want the front end to look like, the colors I wanted it to use, the kind of steps I wanted to take, what value I wanted to offer to the user, and then it figures out how the back end will look like and how the codes that it needs to write for the front end. And don't forget also, I needed to mention to you that I have my GitHub account connected to my Loveable as well. So all of these projects are stored inside my GitHub portfolio, so that in case I wanted to pick up the code and run it somewhere else outside of Loveable, I could do that. So once I was sure that the system was working, and I can be testing it here, I can get started, I can sign in, and it can tell me what I need to do. This is a different account, different from the one that I showed you during the demo, but this has you can see my CV is here slightly different in terms of the role recommendations, but I can be testing what is happening in here. And then just as I'm building, I'm testing. So that's one of the things that helped me with this. So once I was done and I was sure that okay, all of the things that I needed it to do has worked, I now needed to integrate payment into it. So I now told it what I wanted and how I wanted the payment to be tiered. It requires some thinking before you start prompting it, because if you prompt it without thinking through the steps, you'll be using up credit and you may not get the result that you're looking for. So what I did was I thought through what I wanted, how I wanted payment to be made, at what point I wanted to offer value, whether I wanted free credit for the user or not. So many information that I thought through. Then I came back into Loveable and started prompting it. Okay, I want this. I listed all the things that I want, especially as is related to payment. And I also now created a Stripe account because I wanted payment to be routed through Stripe. But there's something that you need to, at the point of payment integration, it's going to ask you to give it your Stripe API key, and that is you need to be very careful. So do not give the AI inside Loveable your key. Instead, ask it to create a field for you where you can enter the key, and it needs to be saved securely. Don't drop it inside the chat. Tell it to create a key for you, to create a field for you where you can copy and paste it inside yourself. Don't send it as a chat into the chat box here. But I needed to make sure that I tell you that there are some videos. I'll do a separate video to explain why and to explain what the prompting that you need to do for this. But please do not drop your Stripe API key, secret key, whatever, into a chat like this. Instead, tell it to create a field inside Supabase and give it to you in the interface here, and then you paste it inside. Once you paste it inside, it's stored in Supabase, it's secure, is better there and it's secure there than you sending it as a chat in here. So that was what I did, and that's how I came about building this. So when I was done, there were now a lot of check-ins, testing, making sure that everything worked out the way it should, some optimization, and optimization don't stop, it continues to go on. And I got my family and friends to test it with me to see whether the payment pathway works well, because I wanted to be sure of that too. So I did that. I saw that worked, and so that's what led us to CVTailor. The idea behind CVTailor is testing, offering value to people who need it, and also testing what is possible with no code and stringing tools together, especially as a full product and not an internal product. because most of what I've built so far has been an internal product where it's built for an organization, it's built for internal use, it's built for personal use. But this time around, this is public facing for multiple people to use the product at the same time. And so I wanted to see what was possible, and that was what I was testing with this. I'm happy that it worked. There are still some bolts and nuts that needs to be tightened, but its functionality has been tested, proof of concept has been tested, and you're welcome to test it along with me. You can use the, like I said, use the free credit, and then if you want to do more, you would have to pay for it. And so that brings us to the end of this video. I hope it helped. If you want me to help you, if you want me or 3 Balconies and my team to help you to build any public facing products or complete product like this, please feel free to reach out to us. I will drop the link in the description below. You can also check out 3 Balconies and chat with us if you want us to build internal workflows using anything or any other automation tools. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll drop my 3 Balconies email also in the description below, so you can pick it up anytime you need to. And so that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you found it useful, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.